Welcome to Tutorial 2, Customising the Ribbon. We'll start the process by switching the ribbon from the Home to the Tools tab. And on the Tools tab we have a panel for Customisation tools. We're going to choose the CUI, Customise User Interface command. Okay, this tool launches the Customise User Interface dialog box. You'll notice in the dialog box that we have two tabs. We have Customise and Transfer. We'll start by clicking the Transfer tab. Now what's happening here is in the right hand window AutoCAD has a new CUI file that's been created. What we're going to do is save this as the Excitech CUI. So we'll choose Save As from the menu. We'll call this Excitech, like so. Notice that this is automatically saved into your support folder, but obviously you can browse to another area like a server or something, but we'll choose Save there. And let's now save that as excitech.cui. Next we need to partially load this into our main customization file. So we'll switch back to the Customise tab. And you'll notice here that we're working in AutoCAD.cui, which is the main customization file, so this contains all of our tools at present. But what we want to do is partially load the Excitech CUI file on top of the AutoCAD one. So here we have Load Partial Customization File. So we'll select that. We'll choose Excitech.cui and then Open. Okay, so now we're seeing the Excitech.cui file. We'll switch now back to the main customization file. Okay, and what we can see here is we have the AutoCAD CUI file. The node down the bottom here is showing us partial CUI files. And if we expand that, you should now see your Excitech.cui file partially loaded. Okay, so the next step for us is to start to create some tools. You'll notice in the top window here we have an area to create ribbon tabs and also ribbon panels. Now initially we're going to create this customization in the main customization file, so in the AutoCAD.cui, and then we'll transfer this information across to our Excitech CUI. So we'll start the process by creating a new panel. Now if we expand the ribbon panels here, we can see the ribbon panels available at present. We want to create a new panel for some conceptual 3D tools. So we'll right mouse click over ribbon panels and create new panel. So you can now see it's prompting us for a name. So we'll call this conceptual tools. Okay, so there's the rename. And what we're seeing here then is the conceptual tools panel created. Down the bottom here we have a command list. Up here we have a preview of our panel and then the properties of our panel. Now the idea is we're going to drag and drop tools from here to our panel. Now at the moment we're seeing all the commands in the list here. So we're going to filter these out to the draw commands. In the draw commands we have some modelling tools, as you can see here. And we'll start by dragging and dropping a box through. So here's a box, and we drag and drop this to row 1. Okay, so in the panel preview we can now see the box being shown. In the properties below we can actually set some sizes, so what I'm going to do here is change the size from standard to large, so we get a large icon. To give further help we may need to give a label. So at the moment it's not showing a label, but if I say show label to yes, you can now see we have a label added to that. So we'll now continue to add a few more tools. So I'll take a cylinder through, okay, and we'll put that after the box. So this time again I may choose to have a large icon and also a label, but I want the label to be vertically orientated. Okay, so we'll take something else through now. Let's take the extrude command. Okay, maybe we'll leave that as a small icon. Now it might be now that we want to create a second row. Yep, so we can say new row. Yeah, so we've now got row 2. And we can now continue to populate row 2 with tools. Okay. So you can now continue to develop that panel. Okay, so we're now ready to transfer this information across to our XIText CUI file. So we'll switch to the Transfer tab. And in the Transfer tab, what we're actually seeing is the main CUI file where we've actually developed our ribbon panel, and we have the XIText CUI file with currently nothing inside it. So we're going to start the process by creating a new ribbon tab in the XIText CUI file. Yep, so we'll right mouse here, we'll ask for a new tab. Okay, and we'll call this 3D Massing Tools. Right, so next we need to drag and drop the panel that we've newly created across to the massing tools. So in the left hand window we'll expand ribbon panels. And down the bottom here we can see we have our conceptual tools that we've developed, and we'll drag and drop this information over the 3D massing tool. Okay, so now we have a tab called 3D Massing Tools, and we have one panel in there called Conceptual Tools. Okay, so we'll go ahead and actually save our customization. Okay, so now the XIText menu is still partially loaded, so we'll go back to our customization tab. We'll expand the partial CUI file. Here's our XIText menu here, and we can now see that we have the ribbon tabs, 3D Massing Tools, and also the panel Conceptual Tools. Next we need to add this into a workspace. Okay, so we'll go and find our workspace, and up here we can see we have an area that stores workspaces. Over on the right hand side here you can see that this is what the workspace currently contains. So what we have here is our 3D Massing Tools and our Conceptual tool actually added in there. So we can actually choose to add or remove elements from our workspace from this area. So we'll now apply this information. So that's now rebuilding all of our menus. Okay, so it's now just going away and rebuilding the ribbon. And we'll say OK. So what we'll now notice is we have a new tab here called 3D Massing Tools. If we select that, here we have our panel, or our area for conceptual tools, and here are our draw tools in here. Okay, that concludes the exercise.